Let's kick things off with section 48, shall we? This section is all about business records, or more specifically, entries in books of account. Now, before you doze off, I promise this is more exciting than it sounds. Imagine this. A bakery owner meticulously records every sale in their ledger. One day they find themselves in court, accused of selling a cake that gave someone food poisoning. The prosecution cries foul, claiming the baker used spoiled ingredients. But wait, the baker's ledger tells a different story. Section 48 swoops in to save the day. This section allows the baker to use their ledger as evidence, proving they used fresh ingredients on the day in question. Why? Because the law recognizes that people generally keep accurate business records. They have a vested interest in doing so. It's how they track their income, expenses, and avoid going broke. So those scribbles in the baker's ledger suddenly become powerful evidence, all thanks to Section 48. But hold your horses. It's not like any old notebook can be brought into court and treated as gospel. For Section 48 to apply, the entries must be made in the regular course of business at or near the time of the transaction, and by someone with personal knowledge of the deal. In our bakery example, a random note scribbled on a napkin weeks later wouldn't cut it. So there you have it. Section 48, making business records admissible in court since, well, probably a long time ago. The point is, it's a vital tool that helps ensure accurate and reliable evidence is used in legal proceedings. Next up, we're tackling Section 49, which deals with the relevancy of entry in public record made in performance of duty. Now, I know what you're thinking, John. You promised excitement, and this sounds even drier than the last section. But trust me, this one's a real humdinger. We're talking about the good old public record, the backbone of transparency and accountability in any functioning society. This includes everything from birth and death certificates to property deeds and court judgments, all those official documents that tell the story of our lives, whether we like it or not. Section 49 recognizes the importance of these records and makes them admissible as evidence in court. Why? Because they are created by public officials whose duty is to maintain accurate and impartial records. For example, imagine a land dispute between two neighbors arguing over the property line. A surveyor's map created as part of their official duties and filed with the local government could be the key piece of evidence that settles the dispute once and for all. But here's the catch. Just like with Section 48, there are rules. To be admissible under Section 49, the record must be created by a public servant acting within their official capacity. A casual note jotted down by a clerk during their lunch break won't have the same legal weight. So there you have it, Section 49, ensuring those who wield the power of the public record do so responsibly and that those records can be used to ensure justice is served. It's the legal equivalent of saying, hey, if it's in the official record, we better take it seriously. Section 50. Maps, charts and plans, more than just drawings. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to enter the thrilling world of maps? Yes, you heard that right. Section 50 delves into the relevancy of statements in maps, charts and plans. Now, before you dismiss this as a niche section for geography nerds, let me assure you, it's got implications for everyone. Think about it. Maps, charts and plans are more than just pretty pictures. They are visual representations of information, often used to depict things like property boundaries, accident scenes, or even the layout of a crime scene. Section 50 allows these visual aids to be admitted as evidence in court, provided they are made under the authority of a public officer or with the intention of being used publicly. For instance, imagine a car accident where the police used a drone to create a detailed map of the scene. This map, created under the authority of law enforcement, could be crucial in determining who was at fault. But here's the kicker. Section 50 doesn't just apply to official maps. It also covers things like nautical charts used by sailors or even architectural plans for a building. As long as they are made with a degree of accuracy and reliability, these visual representations can speak volumes in court. So the next time you see a map, remember Section 50. It might just be the unsung hero that helps bring clarity to a complex case. After all, a picture is worth 1,000 words, especially in the courtroom. All right, folks, We're reaching the final stretch of our legal adventure, and we're tackling 2 sections for the price of 1. Don't worry, I wouldn't do this to you unless it was absolutely necessary, and trust me, it is. Sections 51 and 52 deal with statements that carry the weight of authority, specifically pronouncements made in public notices and the hallowed words enshrined in law books. These sections might sound a bit dry even by my standards, but they play a vital role in upholding the rule of law. Let's start with Section 51, which focuses on statements as to the fact of public nature contained in official gazettes, newspapers and other publications authorized by the government. These are the official channels through which the government communicates with its citizens, announcing new laws, regulations and other important information. Section 51 recognizes the seriousness of these pronouncements and makes them admissible as evidence in court. For example, imagine a company claiming they weren't aware of a new environmental regulation. If the regulation was published in an official gazette, Section 51 ensures that the company can't plead ignorance just because they didn't read the newspaper. Now let's move on to Section 52, which deals with the relevancy of statements as to any law contained in law books. This section might seem obvious. Of course, law books should be admissible in court, right? But it serves an important purpose. It establishes the legal precedent that published legal texts are considered authoritative sources of legal information. In other words, lawyers can't just waltz into court and make stuff up. They need to back up their arguments with actual laws and legal interpretations as documented in those dusty old law books. So, there you have it. Sections 51 and 52, ensuring that official pronouncements and legal texts are given the weight they deserve in a court of law. It's the legal equivalent of saying, look, if it's published in an official capacity, we're going to assume it's accurate and binding.